Wow, you can tell that I didn't put my makeup away this morning. Hi internet, welcome back, welcome to my channel. My name is Tori and today I have a video I've never filmed before. This is a little chit-chatty, help me pick what my Pan That palette would be for 2021. Because I need help. I need guidance, inspiration, motivation, a lot of things. So if you don't know, this year for Pan That palette, I've been focusing on my Adapt Cosmetics palette, one side. I'll show you a little quick bit, because you'll see it in like a couple videos from now. And by a couple videos, I mean in a couple days you'll see the update. So there's always the possibility for next year of me continuing this Adapt Cosmetics palette because I didn't have the best of luck this year. But there's also the possibility of focusing on this side, but specifically focusing on the Androgyny palette that's left and the Thirsty palette. The only problem is, especially with the Thirsty palette, it looks brand new. So I would like to, but I think that these two might be very hard for me. So I think I might try to focus on some palettes, or one specific palette, I guess I should say. So let's talk about the nominees. I guess that's a good word to use. So first one, it's actually, I think it's my oldest like eyeshadow palette that's still together, and that is the Naked 3 palette. This is what it currently looks like. So Strange is like almost completely done. I was supposed to finish it last year on a project, but I never did. Limit is supposed to be getting used, but it's not. This was what, Dust? Yeah. Dust is completely empty. Trick has pan, and Black Heart has a little pan. So, it has some work done to it, but it would still take me a while. It's also, you know, Urban Decay Naked formula. We all know. But yeah, I feel like this is kind of time for me to use it up and part ways with it. I tried, that's why I've been slowly working on it the past 2 years. This year I hit Pan and Blackheart, and then I'm supposed to use up Limit for Project Pan, but that project's not ending till like sometime next year. To be honest, I can't remember what Project Pan it is in off the top of my head, but I know it's either like Throwback 30 or I think it's 50 Shades of Pink. This don't latch anymore. All the shades that have pan are now crumbling because it's old. This was probably from 2016, 2015 at least. Could be older. I couldn't tell you. So yeah, it needs more love, especially on the, you know, darker shades that all look the same. I think that this is a realistic option, but also still a hard option for me because I gotta keep in mind that I haven't been panning eyeshadows like I have in 2017 and 2018. So, and even in 2019, I pan a lot more eyeshadows than now. This one could be another realistic one. This is from Lorac. This is a Free Spirit palette. I feel like I have hair on my face. Do I? No. This is what it's currently looking like. So, pan in this silver shade, pan in this skin tone shade, and then a lot of pan in the pink. Pink shade is currently in my 50 Shades of Pink as well. A lot of these shades have dips, and a lot of them don't have pigmentation anymore, so it would be something easy to use up. But I also don't know if I want to commit to it as a Pan That palette, or if I just want to like throw it into like throw literally every single shade into different projects next year. This one is a possibility, but also same thing, I don't know if I want to commit the full thing, and that is the Lorac Mega Pro 4. Now, great progress. The reason I wouldn't want to have this be my Pan That palette, even though it would be an easy one, is simply because the color story and how uncohesive the color story will be once I start using up even more of these. I rarely sit down and use this whole palette by itself, and when it comes to Pan That palette, I would like to be able to sit down and use the palette all at once, you know, and not have to jump back and forth a lot. But this is a jump back and forth palette. I like the shades in here, like the mattes. The shimmers would take me forever because I don't like a lot of these shimmers. There's some shimmers in here that I still haven't used. Steel Wool, never touched. Honey, I did touch, but it doesn't look touched. Silver Fox down here, never touched. Vamp I used literally once. So, and even some of the mattes like Burgundy I haven't touched yet. So, possibility, likelihood, I don't know. But I know it would be easy. But I would have to get creative, you know. I would have to definitely get creative and find a lot of mattes to work with these shimmers that, like, you know, pulling a lot of mattes into my other projects and stuff like that. The next option is this Coastal Scents palette. So there's no Coastal Scents eyeshadows in here. What is in here is the Urban Decay After Dark palette. That is all majority of the shimmers. The Makeup Geek and Manny palette from back in the day. And mattes. Oh no, a couple shimmers too. From the Kathleen Lights and Morphe collab. So these are all my singles that can't fit into my Adapt Cosmetics palette slash I don't want to put them in there because then it's going to look really clumpy and just not clumpy but like cluttered. There you go, that's the word. It's going to be too cluttered and then I'm not going to enjoy it. This by itself kind of has a nice color story, but the problem is with this, there's not enough good mattes. There's not enough of my ideal mattes. Like I'm gonna be left over with all the Urban Decay After Dark palette's pretty much staying, you know, like that's not gonna be able to be finished because I'm not gonna be pairing, you know, this blue with, you know, this bright red. That's just not what I do unless it's like 4th of July. So I like the idea of panning this one a lot, to be honest, because I would like to only have one single eyeshadow palette unless, you know, I'm like finally buy more Sugar Pill shadows or like not Medusas, oh my god, Menagerie Cosmetics and then have their own palette, but like this palette don't need to be in my collection anymore. And I like all these shades, even though that's a lot of browns right there. But yeah, so this one has better likelihood than the Lorac palette for me, but then it's just, I'm gonna have the colored shimmers left. It's either I have to be okay with that or I have to pull in stuff that will help it. So there are some baby palettes I'm thinking about because I kind of want them out of my collection, but I don't want to declutter them because I still enjoy them, but I kind of don't have a purpose in my collection. So I would like to finally just use them up. So the first two we'll talk about together. It's two different Wet n Wild quads. So I have the Heart and Heavy quad. This was some Valentine's Day collection. And then Will You Marina Me, also from the same Valentine's Day collection. Now, they both only have one shade in it that doesn't have pan, and the other shades have pan. Perfect starting points if I was hardcore focused on it. Easily could be done within, you know, 6 months. I could even work on them together at the same time. I think that realistically this is something I should do because it's 2 palettes out even though it's only 6 eyeshadows in total. But yeah, I think that this might be the wave. This might be what I go with, panning both of these, because like the colors, don't wanna declutter them, but I don't want to use them, so pan them. Pan both of them at the same time, and plus that would be 2 non-cruelty free items out of my collection. Now this item I don't use that much, but I like the formula, and also I really want to get it out of my collection because the packaging is cardboard, so the rabbit took its reign on it. This is the Plushies Lime Crime Quad in Sweet Blends. So this is the normal one with a pop of blue. This is something also I could easily keep on my desk, use all the time. I mean, okay, the blue's gonna be a little tough, but the blue already has a little dip, so better than nothing. So this is also something that I would really like to, you know, do. Because, I don't know, maybe next year will be the year of like mini palettes and I pan all 3 of these. That's a possibility, because at the moment I'm really feeling the idea of using these up and then like The problem with this year was I did the 101 eyeshadows challenge and didn't plan my normal project pans around that, and like with that in mind, I kind of just planned my normal projects as I normally would have, and just was like, oh, I'll pick this shade because I want to, instead of, oh, I should pick this shade because it's also in this. So I think that it really burnt me out, and it really made me not enjoy the new stuff I have coming in, and it also made me not want to use a lot of the old stuff I have. So I think that by using and by maybe picking all these minis to be that pan that palette, it might keep my head on my shoulders and keep me inspired, because obviously I'm gonna have to pull in other shades with this. Like, this isn't a standalone palette, well, quad, whatever, but I'll be like, okay, I could use Blue Moon with the blue, I could use countless other things with the blue, like, you know, this would inspire creativity as well, being a nice little formula, you know. And now here we're like, I have 4 palettes that are like maybes, but I don't want to publicly make them like a pan that palette. Well, okay, we'll talk about the first one before I get into that whole deal. The one that's a maybe, for one of the maybes, is the Lime Crime Pocket Candy in Sugar Plum. Now, I have beef with this palette because, so besides the, like, all the shades being shimmers, originally it started smelling like burnt rubber. I think that's what it smelled like. It smelled disgusting. So I depotted it thinking it was the packaging, and then it somehow went away. And like right now, no scent. The cat is literally climbing up my back. My camera battery died. So like I was saying, after I depotted this whole thing, it stopped smelling, so then I put them back in. Still doesn't smell. But you know, that creeped me out a bit. Creeped me out a good amount. I guess it was the glue that smelled, because I had to take off all the glue. But here's the other thing. Not standalone. We need a bunch of mattes, and do I want to put in the effort with this right now? Probably not. I think I would, these next 4 palettes are like maybes, but also I think I might just end up throwing them into projects next year and like, oh, I'll try to use a good amount of this up before finally deciding to like completely pan it. These next 3, we're kind of talking about the point I said before, where I don't think I would want to publicly pan these, and that is only because it will draw a lot of attention from my non-regular homies, and then there's just I'm gonna have to explain a lot every time. And you know, even if you say something, sometimes people don't listen and just comment anyway. Speaking of this, so I call it Crystal Energy because I renamed it. I bought it with my money. I can do whatever the frickity dickety I want with it, you know? So I explained that in my 50 Shades of Pink project, because I have 2 shades in that project that I now renamed. And the person like was like, well, this is what the palette's called, this is who it's made by, and these are the shade names. Okay, but I renamed it, so I don't want to hear the Naked Mole Rat's name in my comments. So yeah, it would just lead to me blocking comments and having like certain keywords blocked out, because I don't want to deal with it. Like, this was my hard-earned money. I was dumb enough to buy it. I'm gonna use it up. So that's the only reason I wouldn't want to pan these, or this one or the other 2 that I will show you. At the moment, I'm kind of just trying to wear away the embossings. It's worked somewhat. It's very hard with the mattes, but it's been very easy with the shimmers. So I'm trying to keep that up. I think I'm just going to have to throw it into projects and just, you know, say like what I normally say in the beginning of 50 Shades. Well, I always put it at the end of projects now, but also just like, you know, do a little disclaimer. But if you film any of the Pan That Palette videos for YouTube, you know that everyone sees the intro. People you don't know see the intro. And I don't want to deal with that in the intro. I don't want to deal with that. This one would be the easiest. This is what I call the Manifest palette because it's all my shop stickers on it. But here's the thing, this is what it looks like. Color Story is ugly and uncohesive, and yes, I was fooled into buying it, but that's a story for another day on manipulation. So, this would be a hard Pan That palette because it's not cohesive at all. It's not a single color story. I would have to pull in so much stuff, and it would take longer than a freaking year to pan it. Sorry, now I'm getting just anxious. So yeah, this is like I think I'm just gonna throw it into other projects. And then this one I was kind of tempted to pan, but let's be realistic. This is baby blue. All the names are named to stuff I love, but let's be realistic here. All the nudes would be gone and then I would be stuck with all the blues. Do I need to pull this palette out more? Yes, but I've barely touched it. Well, okay, that's a lie. I've used it a good amount of times, but it looks barely touched because it's blue. Would love to, but realistically, I shouldn't. I should not do that to myself. But will I? Maybe, maybe. So yeah. I don't know. Let me know what you think down below. I think that maybe a Spiced Up Adapt Cosmetics palette might be the wave, or maybe the minis with the Spiced Up Adapt Cosmetics palette, but I honestly don't know. So yeah, let me know what you think down below, and if you enjoy me or Project Pan videos, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and all that jazz, and peace out, Girl Scout.